pedestrians and cyclists. The mayor is almost here. Also, we are here together with Chief Royster. Other fellow commissioners will be joining us, transportation, members of the Transportation Committee, Council Member Sandy Nurse, representative from our advocacy community. TA, Dan is here, and I don't know how Ken Baxiba was able to be here with us. Let's give him a big round of applause. Yes. He's the one that brought the 5-borough bike tour back, stronger than ever. 32,000 cyclists all over the world were here yesterday, the largest bike tour in the whole nation. So thank you, Ken. We are here to get New Yorkers to pay attention to the danger or life-changing effect of speeding. As you will see behind, these are eye-catching ad design that we already are doing it. The message of the ad is simple. Speeding ruins lives. Slow down. Let's watch now the ad in English and Spanish as the beginning of what you will see seen in all media. So again, this is what you will see in English and Spanish and in many languages. This is also connected with the same ad that you can see here and you see in many locations. But you know, the person that you will hear right now is the person who is at the leader in our city. Is someone that is working with us. Let me give you the mayor of the city of New York, Mayor Eric Adams.
What's up, brother? Pulling my people out of the rain. Good to see you all fresh off of an inner circle, enjoyable night. So this is an important opportunity as we hit these important marks of how do we make our city safe, something that Ydanis and I talked about throughout the entire time and moment of our campaign, and we're looking at the numbers. Having safe streets is more than gun violence. The metal of a bullet destroy lives, and the metal of a car destroy lives. Since day one, my administration, we have been talking about public safety. Public safety is a prerequisite Public safety is a prerequisite of prosperity, and it includes vehicle crashes. And New Yorkers of all kinds have been dealing with this violence. No community is safe. Traffic safety is public safety. And unfortunately, we've seen traffic violence increase drastically in the past 2 years. This is a real crisis. Location to location, impacting families. Crashes are more frequent. Speeding and reckless driving have increased, and driver and pedestrian deaths are far too high. And part of the conversation I had over the weekend with my commanders, We must zero in on the traffic stats that we had in place. When I was a police officer, we need to focus on these locations in a real way. And right here in East New York, there have been over 35 fatalities and 300 serious injuries in the last 5 years. People are getting hurt. Families are being devastated, and we are taking actions in a real way. We're going to bring traffic violence levels down through engineering, enforcement, and education, the 3 E's we like to call it. My administration is investing over $900 million in engineer safety, safer streets. $900 million. We're going to increase enforcement on traffic laws. It's better to be proactive than reactive, and we need help from Albany with the camera legislation that we are attempting to pass through, thanks to Senator Ydanis. Today, in partnership with the DOT and the NYPD, we are announcing an unprecedented, a term you hear often in this administration, unprecedented $4 million to public awareness campaign in 9 different languages, telling people to slow down, pay attention, because speeding ruins lives and speeding ends lives. This campaign will reach all 5 boroughs through ads and on TV and radio, billboard, buses, gas stations, through our community and ethnic media, something we are extremely believe is important, focusing on our ethnic media. Wherever you live, whatever your language may be, we're going to get the message out there that we are going to we're not going to tolerate lawlessness of any level, and that's include vehicle crashes. We will make sure that everyone is obeying the laws to prevent the trauma that comes with the loss or injury of a loved one. This is the largest investment in public awareness of traffic violence since the start of Vision Zero. And this campaign will also direct $1.5 million to community and ethnic media for the first time since Vision Zero program began. So this is about more than just education to the public. It's a marker that we're laying down to let people know that New York City is going to protect the streets and have a zero tolerance for violence for children, for seniors, for families torn apart with vehicle violence. I want to thank this partnership coming together and just getting it done in a real way. We are aware of the increase in vehicle crashes, and we're going to take decisive action to prevent it from reoccurring. Thank you again, Commissioner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Ari. And as you will see on the Vision Zero, now you see a subtitle, Building a Safer City. That's the rebranding that we also have on Vision Zero, and this go along with your leadership to be sure that we improve safety across all areas. We need to step up our efforts to address the public health crisis being caused by speeding and reckless driving. And the Mayor Eric Adams administration is doing what you heard. $4 million campaign we are announcing today, which follow the historic investment already stated by the mayor of close to $1 billion to redesign our streets to make them safer for pedestrians and cyclists. I know we have directed the media to also see for themselves some of the work that our Vision Zero investment are paying for. Our crews were out today transforming and crossing at Linden Boulevard not far from here. We know that is the work on the ground that delivers the real safety improvements for New Yorkers. In the next 5 years, thanks to the Mayor Eric Adams, the city will have over that $900 million in funding to address street safety and build out infrastructure as we work to address the City Council New York City street plan. The historic announcement follow our announcement this year that is committed to hardening 20 miles of protected bike lanes by the end of 2023, and DOT announcing with Mayor Eric Adams that is planned to redesign over 1,000 intersections. We are not stopping there either. The next step is for us to be able to use even more tools in our toolbox. This week, the city will step up its effort in Albany, introduced so eloquently when we were last in Brooklyn to discuss Vision Zero, to obtain home rule, allowing us to expand our automatic enforcement, introducing speed cameras. I will be there tomorrow, visiting many state legislators, hoping that we will get their support, and hopefully with a friend at the state leadership and assembly, we will get the home rule. Now a little more about this campaign. Its presence will be widespread and felt citywide on massive billboards such as this, on bus shelters, on Link NYC kiosks, and at gas station pumps. It will also run on radio and mainstream media, and on digital formats in multiple languages, and it will run in 7 languages for the newspaper and online digital banner ads. We are also making an unprecedented investment in community and ethnic media with this campaign. Every single one of the city registered community and ethnic media outlets will carry this ad, first time in the history of New York City. As the author of this law, at that time, together with Brooklyn Board President, now Mayor Eric Adams, we passed a bill that created first in the city the Office of Ethnic and Community Media. Hoy nosotros estamos aquí porque es un día muy importante que bajo el liderazgo del alcalde Eric Adams estamos anunciando una campaña de $4 millones para educar a los choferes de que deben de reducir la velocidad cuando ellos manejan en la calle y de esa forma nosotros proteger a los peatones. Let me now introduce the chairman of the Transportation Committee, Chairman Brooks Power.
Thank you for that, Commissioner. And good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I am Councilwoman Sylvina Brooks Powers, representing the 31st District in the City Council and Chair to the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. It is great to be here in East New York with the Department of Transportation Commissioner Rodriguez, with our Mayor Eric Adams, NYPD Transportation Chief Royster, Felicia Park Rogers from the Tri-State Transportation Campaign, and all of our transportation allies and advocates that are here. I'm proud to stand with everyone here in support of our new Vision Zero campaign. Every death on our city streets is a preventable tragedy. Traffic deaths are a public safety crisis that we should commit to taking as seriously as other forms of violence. New York is at a pivotal moment. On one hand, traffic deaths are on the rise, and at the same time, we have a crucial opportunity to leverage record amounts of federal funding and direct that funding to the communities who need it most. As chair, I will continue to conduct oversight to ensure these dollars are spent equitably. Communities that have experienced decades of infrastructure disinvestment have the most to gain from the new investments in expanded public space, faster buses, and safer streets. To truly address our traffic death crisis, we must make permanent investments and build infrastructure that encourages safe travel and minimizes the risk of death and severe injury. That's why it is imperative that the city implements promised Vision Zero improvements, like redesign intersections and protected bike lanes as quickly as possible. That is also why I am proud to join my colleagues. I know I'm joined here with Councilmember Sandy Nurse as well, but I'm proud to join my council colleagues and transportation advocates to call for a fully funded $3.1 billion streets plan. I am pleased that the administration has committed over $900 million to the streets plan and look forward to securing additional funding as we finalize our next budget. This funding is critical and will help to reshape our streets to benefit all New Yorkers. I look forward to working with our partners across government to truly make our communities safer. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. As the council called, the bill, the street master plan is supposed to be investing $1.5 billion in 10 years. On this administration here, a commitment of close to $1 billion in 5 years. So we are really putting more money than what the council passed the bill on the street master plan. But let me call Sandy Nurse also to say you are a great leader in transportation.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for being here. I want to thank Mayor Adams and the Commissioner for launching this here in our community, and for the commitment and the resources that you have put towards this really important issue. As the Mayor said, this community has faced a number of fatalities and very debilitating injuries in the last few years. I'm actually joined here by senior leadership of our Community Board 5, who's worked tirelessly to raise this issue and to advocate for resources to address the intersections that are dangerous and to invest in pedestrian safety. Just this year, we lost a young lady to a bike accident. She was dragged by a bus and off a bike. A few years ago, just a couple years ago, we lost a couple of young children, and I know the mayor was at that rally not too far from here. So we have a serious issue, and we need the infrastructure investments to prevent these deaths, and this campaign is going to go a long way towards that. So thank you again for doing this. Thank you for doing this here and launching this here, and I look very much forward to supporting our chair of the Transportation Committee and this administration to continue to move forward on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now go to questions.
We'll take some on-topic questions. If folks have on-topic questions, we'll start there.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
there was a recent study out of the University of Toronto that looked at traffic signs on roads and on traffic fatalities on roads in Texas, and it found that they actually increase crashes by distracting drivers. What evidence do you have that these billboards will actually be effective at reducing crashes or injuries?
Well, number one, we would love to look at that study because the goal is not to contribute to a crisis. And if there's a way we have to pivot and shift, just to use gas stations, just to use social media, just to use an educational program, which we are going to do inside our schools and our classrooms, we are going to look at the study, and we're not going to do anything that's going to aggravate increase the number of crashes. This is the first time I'm learning about the study, and I'm sure the commission is going to look at it as well. But there's other methods to communicate outside the signs, the billboards, that we're going to not leave any stone unturned to address this issue and educate the public.
We have other on-topics? On-topics? Yeah, Brenda.
You said you're going to Albany tomorrow to work on the passage for home rule, so is that for speed, replacing the speed cameras, red light waivers? Do those bills have partners in the Assembly, or they just right now one house and Senate? How likely do you think that will pass by the end of session?
We do. I can pass it to the mayor, but I can say we have friends. We have a state senator and assembly member working on behalf of this bill. We hold our friend, such as Senator Leader Steve Cousin, and also a Speaker Carl Hastings will be working with us to get this bill introduced and passed by, I don't know if the mayor wants to.
Yeah, I communicated this yesterday with Assemblyman Hasty, and I communicated this morning with Speaker Andrew Stewart Cousin, and gave him our list of priorities, and this is one at the top of the agenda. And our team is going to be up in Albany, up to the end of the session, and push this forward. Senator Gurnardis is very well respected in Albany, and he's leading this initiative. And so we're going to continue to just pound the pavement and get this done before the end of the session.
We got other on.
No, I did not engage in a conversation with the governor this weekend, but I did speak with her previously that this is a very important bill that we would like to see get forward.
Other on topics? Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, you mentioned alongside this initiative your initiative stepping up enforcement of traffic laws. Can you speak a little bit to what that's going to look like? Is there any specific resources being allocated for it?
Yeah, we had something called traffic stat. And when I met with my commanders this weekend, I'm going to zero in on making sure that we're doing traffic stat. It identifies those intersections that are extremely dangerous, and it also look at the local enforcement that's happening on the precinct level. You know, we sent a mixed message, and I said this over and over again in the city. We sent a mixed message to police officers about enforcing those laws in the city over the last 8 years. That message is changing. I'm sending a clear message that this city is not going to be a city of disorder. Vehicle crashes is a city of disorder. And now we're going to zero in on those specific locations that people are speeding, driving fast, reckless driving. We're going to zero in on them and have the right enforcement to take place. And the best way to do it is through our traffic stat. I say, if you don't expect what you expect, it's all suspect.
You got other on topics? Yes.
This is $4 million. Is this part of the street improvement budget or is this separate?
I'm so lucky that I was able to baseline a $5 million for the Vision Zero awareness campaign. So this is part of the baseline of $5 million, but the mayor also added an additional $1 million so that we can get on into the community and in media, but we got $1 million additional so that we also can get into the mainstream media too.
Jock from OMB will give you the exact breakdown of what dollars amount that includes the $900 million. Our personnel will make that connection.
You got other on topics? Yes, right.
When it comes to reckless driving on city streets, what's the source of the issue? Is it speeding? Is it people, on their cell phones while they're driving? What is it? Focusing on this right now.
If the Chief Roy said if you don't have the exact numbers, we can bring them up. You have the exact numbers on what the number of vehicle accidents are connected to?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
So most of those crashes that happen in our city involve drivers that they have suspended license, drunk, or speeding. Those are the three categories of those drivers who get involved. More than 70% of those drivers, again, that unfortunately are contributing to those crashes.
So is there an issue that there's not a portion of penalty that, like, if you are people not afraid to drive with suspended license, they're not concerned about driving drunk because they don't fear the punishment? Is that part of the issue?
that's such an important question. When I was in the state senate, what we have traditionally failed to do, hit and runs. Hit and runs with property damage only, not serious physical injuries to people. We're not properly investigating those hit and runs. Normally, what we have found, people who participate in hit and runs, they have suspended license, they're DWI. Those are the issues we're facing. We need to take hit and runs more seriously and ensure that they're investigated properly, because those are the habitual abuses of the criteria that the commissioner just laid out.
You got any last on topics? Do you have an on topic? Okay, any last on topics? Okay, we gotta keep moving, so we're gonna let folks step to the side, and we'll take some off topics. Folks, you could just like hang out over here really quickly. All right, we're gonna do some off topics.
Hold on. Do a few, because I got to get to the Met Ball, and I got stuff to do.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mayor, on COVID, and I know your health commissioner is here too, he can weigh in as well.
Yes, come on, Commissioner, you can get some of this.
If I could get the health commissioner to weigh in the significance of rising up to medium, whether or not you think it's an even higher risk level than that, and then also if I can get from the mayor what your advice is to New Yorkers hearing that the city is now going in the wrong direction on COVID.
Thanks for the question, Andrew. We moved into medium this morning on the basis of our case transmission rate. We also look at our hospitalization rate and our bed occupancy rate, the percentage of beds taken up by people with COVID infection. On hospitalizations, we see a slight increase. On bed occupancy, we're relatively stable. Both of those would have to jump up to a significantly higher level for us to move into a higher risk category. What we're saying with this move from low risk to medium risk is, with the rising risk, we need to take rising precautions. New Yorkers, mask up when you're indoors. Regardless of whether you know the vaccination status of the people around you, mask up. It's the safe thing to do. We're asking you to get vaccinated and boosted if you're eligible and haven't been. We're asking you to test yourselves frequently, and if you test positive, call your physician or call 212-COVID-19 to get treated right away, which prevents severe illness and keeps that hospitalization rate lower.
And Mayor, just as someone who just recovered from COVID yourself, now you're hearing other people get it, the cases are going up. What is your message?
A clear one. Vaccines and boosters work. I just had a tickle in my throat. I was able to exercise in the morning, no loss of breath and no conditions other than that. And I think that we need to acknowledge what happened using my case as a case study. Had a tickle in my throat, immediately went to get tested, found out it was COVID. I went home and stayed home. That is where the winning ticket is for our city. Millions of tests that are out there. People are testing themselves. They're identifying they have COVID. They're staying home. Our precaution and our leading the country on testing and giving the right message has been a real winning ticket. So I say to New Yorkers, let's take necessary precautionary steps. Wear your mask, get vaccinated, get boosted, and we can weather this storm. We're looking at the complete scenarios every morning. The medical team is updating us. We're looking at the number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths, the antiviral medicines that are out there. We are equipped better than we were before, and as long as New Yorkers continue to do the right thing, we can weather this storm together.
Sandra?
I'm a big believer in outdoor dining. I think the shed programs were a lifesaver for our restaurants. And what's happening on the 9th Avenue initiative, we have to do major street repairs, and we have to dig up the streets. And then when you dig them up, we want to make sure we pave them back correctly. So according to the city council, they're looking at how do we make the shed program a better program. I'm a strong supporter in them remaining, and we're just telling those on 9th Avenue, hold on, they're coming back. We know it was a real boost for the economy. It helped our restaurants. It kept them afloat. And if I have my way, unless city council goes in a different direction, the sheds are here to stay, but a beautification in the process. We must beautify, standardize, and make sure that they fit into our economy. Yeah, we're good. We don't know how long. I would find out from DOT how long they will be down, but they will be back.
So Mayor, going back to COVID, part of the new trigger on the alert level is considering reinstating P to NYC, the vax mandate for indoor spaces. What do you weigh as you consider that, or are you considering that at all?
The combination. The doctor made it clear in the briefing with our medical team. Number one, the number of cases, hospitalization, as well as deaths. And we're not going to wait till the hospitalizations get to a crisis before we pivot and shift. I say this over and over again, COVID is a formidable opponent. And if you're stringent, you're not going to defeat something that's not stringent. We're going to pivot and shift and be honest with New Yorkers as we move forward. We're not there yet. But based on whatever the analysis with the medical team, we're going to make the decision to keep our city up and operate. We can't close down the city again. We make the right decisions. We're not going to have to worry about doing that.
Okay, thanks, folks. Okay, we got it.
No, we'll take a few more, because if you don't, they're going to write about me.
Plan just like rolled out today. Logistics, how many officers and what are they being tasked with doing?
Really zeroing in and going after gangs, which are the drivers of our shootings. Going after those hot spots. My meeting on Saturday with my commanders and hearing from them. It was an extremely revealing meeting on what needed to be done on the ground. And what we have historically done, we have tied public safety only to policing. We're going to engage every agency in this city to be part of our public safety fight. And that is what what we did Saturday with our commanders, we're doing it with all of our agencies. And so what our precinct commanders and officers are now going to have a clear understanding of what is expected of them. Listen, for 8 years, we have told police, for the most part, not to carry out public safety. Don't deal with jumping the turnstile. Don't deal with people going to stores stealing. Open drugs displays in our city. That stopped. January 1st, that message is over, and we're going to get on the ground to every police officer. We're not going to have a city of disorder, and that's part of the plan that was rolled out this weekend.
Thank you. I hope I'm not at risk at getting flipped off by you or Chris Red.
Ask the question on bouncing. Don't be thick-skinned. It's satire. Don't be thick-skinned. You write articles that I just take them, even when they're distorting the truth. I handle it. So be a big boy.
Okay,
don't be thick-skinned.
Let me get to my question.
Okay.
So my question is, at the Inner Circle dinner,
Yes.
you showed up very late. So
Uh-huh.
you were only there for the part where you were giving the rebuttal. Why did you show up so late, and why weren't you there to take the heat?
Well, actually, I was there for 3 hours. During a time when you have Ramadan, I had a number of iftar dinners to do. I had a number of other issues. As I stated, I had a full-day meeting with my entire command staff. Being there 3 hours, I'm nowhere for 3 hours. Trust me. As soon as I got there, I went upstairs, took pictures with all of my participants because of the amazing job that Inner Circle is doing. But you cannot find me 3 hours in one location anywhere in the city. I dedicated 3 hours to the Inner Circle because I believe in the mission. And I had so much fun. I didn't think I was going to have that much fun. I had a lot of fun. It was great to see the acts that I saw. And I think that you should continue to do it. And the Inner Circle personnel, they should be commended, your contribution to the city. And, you know, I just enjoyed it. I got some good jokes for next year that I'm looking to say about. Okay.
We're at iftar.
Hold on. We got it. Go ahead.
We're at iftar dinners throughout the night. That's what we were doing.
I had several things that I had to do on that night. Again, I was there for 3 hours. I'm nowhere for 3 hours. This is a big city with big issues and big problems, and I'm a mayor that has to respond to them. I dedicated 3 hours that night. No other organization or institution in this city can say that Eric spent 3 hours in one location. Thank you.
Thanks.